The Paperclip Murders, Chapter 7. The Bullets I've Known. The afternoon was pleasant, and not a single masked orangutan jumped out at me from behind a streetlight. I was walking up the street to the offices of Pillar and Pillar, stopping on the front steps to stub out my cigarette, when suddenly, without any warning at all that the universe was going to about face on me and march the other direction, an angel fell from the sky. I know she did because she came skidding past me as I bent to tie my shoe, and one of her shoes clattered across the sidewalk a few feet from me. I stood up, my eyes adjusting to the blazing ozone burning all around me, and saw the amazing creature also struggle to her feet. She was raven-haired, ruby-lipped, of slender build and perfect height, maybe 138 pounds and 5'10". She was swatting at her knee, torn hose marred across it like the most beautifully planned imperfection God could have ever made, and saying something that sounded suspiciously like what a sailor would utter if he suddenly found his cigar in his rectum. I stepped forward to offer her a hand, and the light exploded around me, and then her fingers touched mine. Her eyes lifted like slow-motion garage doors, and there was the bluest of blue lightning contained behind them, and somewhere inside my chest a little man with a raccoon cap started to yodel something by Sinatra. I suddenly realized I'd been standing there, holding her hand, both of us caught against the framing of the office building like an alternate billboard poster for Gone with the Wind, while people passed around us in their daily lives like ants under a perfectly normal hill. Those lips parted, a shy and breathy, "Thank you, sir," escaping from them, and then the woman struggled to get her shoe back on. My brains recapped themselves inside my skull, and I automatically helped steady her weight while she balanced on one leg and scooped her foot back into that delicate shoe. My powers of observation began to rekindle themselves, and I began to notice. Sweet monkey nuts, I began to notice. She was dressed like a secretary would be, but the clothes failed to hide the smoke rising from underneath them, or to mask the killer body that waited below the surface of cloth and fabric. Caramel-colored slacks and suit coat over a white silk blouse, and the pumps were inexpensive but nice. She picked up her little attaché case and snagged a couple of papers off the cement, and once again breathed "thank you" at me, though her eyes darted around me without ever making direct contact, like most of the bullets I'd known. Coming back to my senses, I gave her a little nod and a peach of a smile and gallantly held the door open for her, tipping my worn fedora as she passed. "Think nothing of it, ma'am," I spoke, and absently let the door close on an older gentleman as I walked in behind her. Stuff him, he could open it for himself. Angel Face walked on ahead of me, her head slightly bowed as though she were hiding a blush from a schoolmarm, and I unconsciously started hoping that she would make the left turn, then up the stairs, then across the second-floor hall to the offices of Mr. Woodchuck, where she would sit and welcome me as his secretary. But alas, that was not to be, and she just kept on walking down the hall. Half tempted to follow her, I stood at the lonely staircase and watched her until it became creepy to do so, and then I sighed, adjusted my trusty hat to my trusty skull, and climbed the stairs. My job awaited.